Juan, and today we're going to explore off-campus housing options for incoming graduate students, faculty, and staff in the Cambridge-Boston area. Whether you're starting your academic journey or joining Harvard as a faculty or staff member, finding the right off-campus housing can greatly enhance your experience. In this video, we'll provide you with valuable information, tips, and resources to help you navigate the metropolitan Cambridge-Boston area off-campus housing market. Moving to an unfamiliar location can be daunting, as even a brief visit may not provide enough information for you to decide where you'd like to live. However, with careful planning, successfully relocating to a new and unfamiliar place is achievable, even if it's a location you haven't visited or seen yet. We are going to walk you through the process of your housing search, from the beginning of your research to narrowing down your housing options, participating in property tours, applying for units, signing your lease, and finally concluding with some recommended tips for the day of your move. Let's get started.
Mark here. As you get ready to jump into your search, ask yourself, what kind of area or neighborhood do I want to live in? What is my budget? What kind of amenities are non-negotiable for my living space? And what is my preferred method of transportation around the city? These questions will help you identify some preliminary locations of interest to you as you navigate your initial research of the area and create a checklist of what your ideal housing situation will be. Keep your checklist to guide you through the process. Make sure to include items such as budget considerations, school systems, desired amenities such as heat, air conditioning, water, electricity, laundry facilities, dishwasher, Wi-Fi, storage, lease dates, parking and EV charging, and any other preferences in the surrounding neighborhood or community. You should begin by researching the city online, utilizing resources like the city's website for essential information, including driver's license transfers and neighborhood details. Social media platforms can also offer first-hand insights, while tools like Google Street View can provide virtual exploration of the area. You should also consider consulting local guides online to compare different neighborhood details, like rent trends, parks, and local school options. Once you've identified your preferred neighborhoods, you should select potential apartment communities to review and compare. Online reviews on Google or other apartment search websites can be an additional source of information from other people who have lived in those locations. Just keep in mind that everyone will have different opinions, and they may have priorities that are different than yours. Consider requesting videos or virtual tours of actual apartments from the property managers for a more accurate assessment of what it would be like to live there. As an incoming student or faculty member, exploring off-campus housing options can provide you with more flexibility and independence while still being close to campus. There are various resources available to help you find the right off-campus housing option, including websites like harvardhousingoffcampus.com and local real estate agencies. You may want to consider seeking assistance from a real estate agent experienced in the rental market. They can provide valuable advice, review lease agreements, and represent your interests during negotiations with the landlord. Before relying on an agent, it's important to know that real estate agents are required to be licensed to practice in Massachusetts, and engaging them means you may be required to pay a fee for their service. Always ask the real estate agent what their fees are before engaging in their services. We will get more into some best practices when applying for apartments online, but always be sure to verify the legitimacy of the landlord or apartment community and conduct a virtual walkthrough before committing to a lease or sending payments. Similarly, the same precautions apply to engaging in the services of a real estate agent as well, should you choose to do so. If you prefer to wait until you relocate to the area to secure your housing, be sure to arrange temporary accommodation and storage solutions for your belongings. Keep in mind that you will need to adjust your budget accordingly if you choose to add additional services from agents, temporary housing, or storage facilities. As a student, faculty, or staff member, managing your budget is essential when it comes to off-campus housing. Be sure to factor in not only rent, but also utilities, groceries, transportation, and other living expenses into your monthly budgets. Creating a budget and sticking to it will help ensure financial stability throughout your time at Harvard.
Before we dive into the details, let's talk about the diverse range of off-campus neighborhood and housing options in the metropolitan Cambridge-Boston area. This area offers something for everyone, from apartments and condos to townhouses and single-family homes. It's important to understand that the metropolitan Cambridge-Boston area is a predominantly urban environment, which means you will have access to countless resources and will likely be in close proximity to your neighbors and communities. When it comes to choosing a neighborhood, proximity to public transportation can be a game changer for students, faculty, and staff alike. Some of the best Metro Cambridge-Boston neighborhoods for college students and faculty are those with easy access to T-stops and affordable rent trends. Areas like Allston, Arlington, Belmont, Somerville, and Watertown are popular choices, offering a lively atmosphere and convenient transit options. A great place to learn about the local public transportation options is on the MBTA website, where various guides and resources are available. You can visit it at www.mbta.com/guides. Pay close attention to information about the T, which is Boston's local subway with lines that run through all major areas, including Harvard. Since Harvard Square is on the Red Line, anywhere with access to the Red Line can be very convenient. If the Harvard Medical School is of interest to you, the Green Line will provide you with a convenient commute option as well. For more information about Harvard's transportation private parking options, visit www.transportation.harvard.edu.
So, you've identified a list of apartment or housing communities that you'd like to start applying to. It's important to know that each rental community may have different application policies and fees, so you should consider calling each location's leasing office to discuss their application process and any associated fees or screening criteria before jumping into an application. Additionally, it's common for rental communities to require you to provide details about your employment and income, as well as conducting a credit check as part of your application. So, we recommend asking about the minimum requirements when talking with the leasing office or landlord. After covering the basics of their application process, you should consider asking the landlord or leasing office about the details that are important to you and your lifestyle. It's essential to ask the right questions to ensure you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. Consider asking about the lease start dates, maintenance procedures, utility responsibilities, costs not covered in the rent, and any additional fees or charges. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself and clarify any uncertainties. Other topics to consider asking about would be noise level restrictions, notices before entering apartments, fees associated with breaking the lease, security deposits, late payment fees, parking fees, EV charging options, guest parking, pet policies, package deliveries, building security, school systems, and what the policies are regarding roommates and subletting the apartment if needed. If you're considering living with roommates, it's important for you and your roommates to understand if the lease will be a joint lease or an individual lease. A joint lease means that everyone is responsible for the rent being paid, regardless of who pays it. If one roommate doesn't pay their share of the rent, everyone is held responsible for the payment. An individual lease means that each person has their own lease associated with the apartment and are only responsible for their portion of the rent, regardless of whether the roommates pay. It's also crucial to discuss your expectations and preferences with your roommates up front to avoid potential conflicts down the road. Be sure to communicate openly about topics including rent responsibilities, chore expectations, smoking, cleanliness preferences, guests, noise, and personal boundaries. Finding compatible roommates will make your living experience much more enjoyable.
If you're new to the leasing process, we'll discuss standard application tips, tenant rights, and landlord-tenant laws, as well as tips on how to avoid scams, safeguarding your interests, and empowering you to make informed decisions throughout your housing search journey. Tenant rights. Before engaging in the leasing process, you should familiarize yourself with your rights and responsibilities as a tenant in the metropolitan Cambridge-Boston area. Massachusetts has specific laws governing landlord-tenant relationships, including laws regarding security deposits, eviction procedures, and habitability standards. Being aware of these rights can help you advocate for fair treatment during negotiations or throughout your tenancy. Market rates. Take your time to understand the current rental market trends in the area. Knowing the average rental prices for similar properties in the neighborhood you're interested in can give you leverage during negotiations. Know that the rental market can change frequently and can vary a considerable amount depending on the area or neighborhood you are interested in. Lease terms. It will be helpful to familiarize yourself with common lease terms and conditions. Pay attention to clauses related to rent increases, lease renewal options, maintenance responsibilities, your care of the apartment, and any penalties for breaking the lease early. Negotiation points. Identify areas where you may be able to negotiate favorable terms. This could include negotiating the rent amount, requesting upgrades or repairs to the property, or negotiating lease terms such as the length of the lease or the inclusion of utilities. Be sure to get any negotiated changes added to the lease. Property inspections. Before signing a lease, thoroughly inspect the rental unit for any damages or issues if you can. Document any existing problems and discuss with the landlord how they will be addressed before move-in. You may want to take pictures or videos of the space when you arrive and leave to ensure your return of the security deposit. This can prevent disputes over security deposit deductions throughout or at the end of your tenancy. Navigating the private market for rentals can be daunting, and you can't always trust what's posted online. But with the right precautions, you can protect yourself from scams that could cause you to lose money and compromise your information.
Before entering into a lease agreement or sending payments, you should always verify who you are working with. It's highly recommended to take precautions and verify external listings in the private market before engaging in any lease agreements or payment exchanges. For example, a private rental agent can only charge a finder's fee if they are a licensed real estate broker or a salesperson. Additionally, the broker must provide written notice to prospective tenants regarding the fee and whether or not it is payable if a tenancy is not created. If the rental agent is also the landlord, the law may prohibit them from charging a finder's fee. Therefore, it's crucial to verify if they are a licensed rental agent. You can check for yourself online at www.mass.gov/how-2/check-a-professional-license. Some common red flags to look out for. The advertised price is significantly lower than that of similar properties. Ads for the property contain grammatical and spelling errors or overuse capital letters. You're only able to work with an agent, and the owner is purportedly too busy, out of the country, or otherwise unavailable to handle the rental. The owner or agent insists on signing the lease before verifying the rental property. The owner or agent is unable to provide ownership documentation, a valid Google Maps address, or charges a fee to view the property. High-pressure sales tactics are used to urge you to make a payment quickly before someone else secures the property. Actions to avoid. Do not wire money as a deposit or payment for the first and last month's rent. Wiring money is equivalent to giving cash, and refunds are not possible, even if the offer turns out to be fraudulent. Do not succumb to high-pressure sales tactics. Do not provide your personal information or social security number to a property owner without verifying their identity. Do not rent a property that you are unable to legally verify before signing the lease agreement. Do not pay a security deposit, fee, or first month's rent before you've signed a lease.
So you've successfully applied for a new rental home and signed your lease. Congratulations! Now it's time to prepare to move. When embarking on a cross-country or global move, it's crucial to prepare adequately. Treat it like an extended journey by packing enough clothing for several days. Delays in the arrival of your moving truck or deliveries are common, so avoid being caught unprepared with limited attire and resources at your disposal. And if you're new to the area, be mindful that moving trucks cannot travel through the city of Boston on Storrow Drive or Cambridge on Memorial Drive. Don't be one of the ones who gets stuck every year. Read all local road signs and traffic alerts carefully and make a note of the height of your moving truck. In case of an emergency, it's recommended to keep vital documents such as your birth certificate and passport in a waterproof container and carry them with you during your relocation. For pet owners, ensure you have records of all up-to-date vaccinations and ID tags, along with a recent photo in case of separation during the move. Keep your pet secure and comfortable with preparations for a few days on hand. Don't forget your chargers for electronic devices, and if you're packing your computer, enable passwords for added security. If that seems like a lot to consider, you may want to create a comprehensive checklist covering all tasks before your departure, as you may not return for an extended period, if at all. Gather medical records, including vision and dental histories. Refill prescriptions and gather necessary personal items. Conduct a thorough inventory of belongings for insurance purposes. If you have children, notify their school and pediatrician for the appropriate records. Discontinue or turn off services at your current location. Update your address with USPS and arrange mail forwarding. Inform subscription services, loan providers, and credit card companies of your new address. Ensure your vehicle is serviced and tires are checked if driving. Purchase plane tickets if flying. Consume or donate perishable foods. Contact utility companies to arrange disconnection or transfer of services. Plan your travel route and book hotel accommodations if needed. Set reminders on personal devices to stay organized. Set aside an emergency fund for unforeseen expenses. Regardless of the distance of your move, it's recommended to approach each step methodically and prepare a backup plan to alleviate any unanticipated moving concerns or missteps. Whether you're a student embarking on your academic journey, or a faculty or staff member joining the ranks of Harvard, finding the right off-campus housing can greatly enhance your experience. Be sure to explore all your options, consider your priorities, and reach out to local resources for assistance along the way. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you found this information helpful as you navigate off-campus housing in the metropolitan Cambridge-Boston area. Best of luck on your journey, and welcome to the area.